Imagine standing in a quiet kitchen before sunrise. The house is still. Outside, it's still dark, and somewhere down the road, men are already walking, boots on gravel, heading toward the mine before the sun comes up. In the coal fields of Appalachia, your day started before dawn and ended after dark. You didn't eat well, you ate enough. And most mornings, that meant opening a tin pail and hoping what was inside would hold you through a shift underground. This isn't a story about recipes, it's about what people actually ate when there wasn't much of anything left. Sugar sandwich, a slice of stale bread on the table, another on top, a thin layer of sugar between them, white if you had it, raw cane if you didn't. This was common in mining families across Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee well into the 1930s. Children got them before school, and when supplies ran low, adults ate them too. The sugar gave a quick burst of energy, and energy was the one thing nobody could afford to run out of. A miner working long hours in low seams, crawling, shoveling, and cutting coal needed something in his stomach. Sometimes this was it. It's dry. It barely holds together. But it was something, and something was better than nothing. Lard sandwich. Before vegetable shortening, before margarine was common in rural homes, there was lard. Rendered pig fat kept in a tin near the stove. It was spread thick on bread, sometimes salted, sometimes not, and it went into more lunch pails than any cookbook ever recorded. Lard held you longer than sugar. It slowed the hunger down. For a man working long hours underground, that mattered. People didn't talk about calories in technical terms, but they understood what kept them going. Miners' wives understood it. They packed what worked. The bread was often day old. The lard was often the last of it. After you ate, your hands were greasy. You wiped them on your work clothes and went back to it. It wasn't about taste. It was about getting through the day. Molasses sandwich. Molasses was a Southern staple long before the Depression made it a necessity. Sorghum molasses especially, made from pressed sorghum cane, boiled down in open vats every fall, was produced on small farms across Appalachia and the rural South. It was dark, heavy, slightly bitter, and it lasted. A thin smear between two slices. Careful not to use too much because that jar had to stretch. Children licked their fingers after. That wasn't indulgence. It was the only sweetness some of them had all day. Mothers rationed it carefully. Sweetness wasn't comfort. It was measured. And in many company mining towns, wages didn't come as cash. They came as scrip, company-issued currency, redeemable only at the company store. Prices there ran higher than in town. Debt built up fast. What you put on your bread wasn't just about hunger. It was about what you could still afford. Cornbread sandwich. When flour got short, cornmeal kept people fed. Cornbread was cheaper, easier to make, and had been a staple of the rural South since before the Civil War. By the Depression years, it was filling a different role, not as a side dish, but as the whole meal. Crumbled, pressed together with whatever was available. Sometimes a smear of lard, sometimes just water to hold it. It sat heavy in the stomach, which was the point. A sharecropper in the field or a miner on the second shift needed something that felt like food, even when it wasn't much of a meal. People ate it standing up, already thinking about the next thing that had to get done. It didn't need to be good, it just needed to hold. Fatback sandwich. Fatback, salt-cured pork fat, usually from the back of the hog, was a fixture of Appalachian culture and Southern cooking for generations. It wasn't a luxury. It was often the only meat in the house for weeks at a time. Fried until it gave up its grease, laid between bread while still hot. The fat soaked into the bread and made it go down easier. For men doing physical labor in poor ventilation, deep underground, it gave hours of energy. Nothing was wasted. The pan was tilted to catch every drop, saved for the next meal, or the one after that. This was one of the few times it felt like real food, even if it was mostly fat. Wild green sandwich. In spring, when stores ran low and money was gone, people went outside and looked at what was growing. Dandelion greens, lamb's quarters, poke salad, ramps, knowledge passed down through generations. Drawing on a mix of indigenous traditions and older European foraging practices. Women and children picked them, rinsed them if there was enough clean water. pressed into bread, still slightly bitter. People didn't talk about vitamins, but they knew greens mattered. Coming home with stained hands and pockets full meant the family ate that night. Food wasn't bought, it was found. Leftover biscuit sandwich. Nothing was thrown away. Biscuits hardened overnight into something closer to stone than bread, but they were split open and filled anyway. Cold beans from the pot, a smear of lard, crumbs pressed together with whatever was left. In mining communities, Sunday was often the one day the whole family sat down together. The rest of the week was improvised. Leftover biscuits were Monday's breakfast, Tuesday's lunch, eaten halfway out the door, already running. Very little could be wasted, because nothing replaced it. Water, gravy sandwich, flour, water, a bit of grease, if any remained. Stirred over heat until it thickened into something that could be poured. This was depression cooking at its most stripped down, a way to make a small amount of fat and flour stretch further. Poured over bread or eaten with it, bowls scraped clean with a finger. Nothing left. It didn't fill you. It kept things going a little longer. Onion sandwich. Raw onion slices between bread, sharp enough to sting your eyes cutting it. It stayed on your breath for hours, which was why men often ate it outside or alone. But it broke the monotony. And in a life built on repetition, the same shift, the same walk home, the same empty table, even that had value. It wasn't much, but it was different. Potatoes, sandwich. Cold fried potatoes, flattened slightly, pressed into bread. This felt closer to a real meal than most things on this list. It had weight. It had texture. People ate it slower, not rushing for once. Potatoes were easy to grow, cheap to keep, and filling. In the mountains of Appalachia, kitchen gardens kept families alive. A good harvest meant a better winter. A bad one meant going back to water gravy. Sorghum sandwich. Sorghum syrup, not molasses, though they are often confused, was made locally across the rural South and Appalachia. Pressed and boiled from sorghum cane each autumn. Lighter than molasses, milder. It was what got spread on bread when everything else was gone. Jars were tilted, scraped, turned upside down, and left to drain. Every last drop. Nothing was ever truly empty, not if you kept trying. Milk-soaked bread. And when there was almost nothing left at all, just bread, dipped briefly in a little milk. It went down easier than dry bread. That was the whole logic. No preparation, no effort, eaten quietly. Often the last thing in the house, sometimes the only thing. None of these meals made it into cookbooks. No one put them on a restaurant menu. They weren't passed down as recipes because there was nothing to teach. You already knew how to spread lard on bread. You already knew where the ramps grew in spring. What got passed down was something harder to name. A habit of saving everything. An understanding, never spoken directly, that the people around you were getting through the same day you were. In the coal camps of eastern Kentucky, in the hollow houses of West Virginia. A man leaves before sunrise, comes home black with dust, a table, 2 slices of bread, and whatever was left to put between them.